What is going on, you crackers and crackheads? Let me just go check on YouTube real quick and make sure that we're and you can hear that little echo, so we know that it's actually going on. How are y'all doing today? This is Malty from the Maltyverse, and I guess normally Mouth of Malty, but this is my first time doing this solo. I normally have had a group with me for the last year, but now that I'm doing things solo, everything falls on me. So all of the failures fall on me as well. If anybody does show up, feel free to say anything you want in the chat. There are a couple of things that YouTube doesn't want you to say, but at least with me, pretty much everything is fair game, and I'm just going to be hanging out, making some jokes. Figured it might be the best way of doing this kind of stuff because I have two videos that I have to talk about. So here we are. Here we are, and here we go. How are y'all doing today? I hope you're doing well. But if you're not, trust me, there's hope out there. You know what there's not hope for, though? There's not hope for me finding the tabs that I want to share. There's not hope for Elio that has just come out. The box office, How to Train Your Dragon rules again as Elio heads for lowest opening in Pixar history, which is not saying very much because ever since John Lasseter left, Pixar has not had a very good track record. They had one little blip with Inside Out 2, but other than that, they really haven't done anything. Elio looks to debut in third place behind the live-action Dragon pick and Danny Boyle's zombie sequel 28 years later, which is opening in second place with a solid $30 million or more. Now, will 28 months later, is that months? 28 years later, sorry. They skipped the months part. That's why it's in my brain so much because I was making that joke all day. So it has already come out. We've had a whole lot of people talk about it and it's very mixed reviews. So will it have a hold? It doesn't matter at this point because Elio is not coming out to great numbers whatsoever. And we'll go into their budget as well. Don't worry about that. Ouchie. Universal's live action How to Train Your Dragon will have no trouble staying number one in its second weekend with an estimated 35.7 million, despite the entry of the zombie sequel 28 years later and Elio coming out. But the thing is, like, Elio wasn't really marketed very well at all. It's just, yeah, it's Pixar. You know all the other Pixar stuff that you like? Well, here's another Pixar thing. That's basically the only thing they did. The production cost is way more, and we'll get into that, which is headed for the lowest opening in the history of Pixar amid a crowded marketplace for family fare. Now, Danny Boyle's zombie sequels, like, well, it already topped Friday with 14 million. 5.8 in Thursday previews. So, like, it's getting a strong start, but will it have a hold? That's really the question that we have to ask about this. All right. So to juxtapose that, will Elio have a hold? Because what was that one? Elemental. Elemental did not start off strong as well. However, it had a hold that lasted for like 2 months. I don't think this is going to happen with Elio because as soon as we get into July, that roster is stocked. It is stacked and stocked in the box office. So I think this is dead on arrival. A few weeks ago, 28 years later, was tracking to open to 35, with a more bullish pundits thinking that it could come in north of 40. But what it actually hit was around a solid 30, or a solid 26, 30. Elio was supposed to come out around the same time. It was tracking for around 35 million. It's not even coming close. It took in 9 million on Friday. For some reason, they didn't do Thursday previews. But on Friday, which was yesterday, a projected third place domestic opening in the 20 to 22 million range. And that is terrible. And there's a reason why this is absolutely terrible. We will come back to this article, but there's just something I have to show you whenever it comes to this. Now, gee whiz. The Elio movie budget, and yes, this is an AI answer. The production budget, because it has been reported across many things, and until they file their taxes, we're not actually going to see the true production budget, nearly $300 million. So if it's starting out on its opening weekend before the July rush comes in at $20 million, what are we doing here, guys? What are we doing? The answer to that riddle is that they ain't doing nothing. Alan Ing from Film Threat has already come out. He came out one of the first ones that I saw, and I didn't read his article, but I just saw one of his Twitter posts. Is like, yeah, this is not good. And everything that I've heard from people who have seen it, they've basically just said, like, this is a TV show. This is a cartoon. This isn't a film. Now, we could have known that from, I don't know, the history of Pixar after John Lasseter was basically booted out. We could have seen that, or at least predicted it. But that's not what's going on right now. Let's go back into the other article and share some more stuff. But with interest stalling in recent days, Disney insiders lowered their projections to $20 million. We talked about that. So now that you have this, and then I've already brought up Elemental. That was nothing short of debacle, because I have already said that already. It didn't start out very well, but it had a hold. You know why it had a hold? Because it didn't have anything for months to compete against. Yes, we're hitting vacation season, where everyone's going to be out of the house, and yeah, they'll be taking their kids to do stuff. But when you have like dinosaurs coming out, when you have 2 superhero movies coming out, there will be other things that have way more hype and have done a very better job of marketing their stuff, even if it's bullcrap. And we will see the holds on them as well. But Pixar and Disney reverse course and are once again committed to telling original theatrical stories, mixed in with known IPs such as last year's blockbuster and record-shattering Inside Out 2. And this is, all right, I have an axe to grind with this. My axe to grind with this is that whenever they try to promote new stuff, all they do is like, it's member berries. Well, you remember this one that you really liked? Well, this is from the same studio. It's like, yeah, hold on. That may work for normies. But for people who pay attention to this stuff, what we do remember is flop after flop after flop for almost a decade now. So are we really interested in any of this? And then we see the trailers, we see the animation, which like Pixar everything looks the same. What is that Bean movie where he's supposed to be a spy? And some guy worked like 8 to 10 years on it. And he did it all by himself. So like, congratulations to him. But it was like Killer Bean. Is that what it's called? I think it's called Killer Bean. That's what the animation looks like. Pixar has looked like this for a long time. And the thing with Pixar nowadays is that the characters themselves are not very differentiated from anything. They don't tug at your heartstrings. They don't make you actually think about stuff. They're just, this is there, and there's some colors. And the mouth is always in that stupid ass grin with gaps between their teeth. Is like, why not put one of them in braces? Oh, they did that in Inside Out. Oops. One of the ones that was actually it wasn't Inside Out, was it? Oh, golly, I'm thinking about Finding Nemo. Oh, back when John Lasseter was there. So my point remains true. You got to make every character look different. Pixar hasn't done that in a long time. The live action Lilo and Stitch, which is doing great. Last time I checked, which has been 2 days, so I'm sure it's probably over $1 billion now, was over $900 million. Remains a force to be reckoned with its 5th weekend and could earn as much as 9 to 10 million domestically. Not even talking about what's going on internationally. And so you have it. You got it all right there. What's up, Sergeant General Tita? Thank you for coming out, brother. So there you have it right there. Pixar can't be anything original because there are no original people there anymore. And that's the problem with all this kind of stuff. You're going to spend $300 million just in production costs. Now, we know there's not very much of a marketing cost or an advertising cost, basically one and the same, because we haven't seen anything about it. That's how you get people into the theaters. I know it's popcorn buckets nowadays and all that other kind of bullcrap, but you don't really see that much anymore. And you're not seeing this with Disney Pixar because Disney, low key, other than Toy Story, wants Pixar to completely fall off the map. They are dead weight. Bob Iger knows this. He's just looking for something else to buy so he can ruin that. And that's where we're going to leave this video right now. What's up, Sergeant? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Yeah, I'm just effing around. Figure I might as well go live. If anybody wants to hang out, like, feel free to hang out. While I get blinded by this light that just gives me better lighting. We need something to do. Hey, cheers to you. You're the first person here. I'm going to make you a mod. You deserve it anyway, man. You're a good guy. Well, I'll do it on the back end later. So what else have y'all been getting up into? Maybe because, is it today? I think it is today, where Jaws 50th anniversary. We're going to talk about it. There's not much I'm going to have to say about this other than there's a lot of stuff I have to say about the article and production hell. Because since, goodness, how old was I? 7 years old is when I started making movies. And yes, they were all on camcorders, but we had our little action figures and we made our own stories too. So we would have the action figures play out the stories. We would go location shooting, like where's a creek? Where's this kind of topography on the map? Somewhere in the backyard or in the woods behind someone's house, just depending on where we were. I used to love filmmaking, and now everything nowadays it's just, I don't know, it's harrowing. Harrowing is one way of putting it, but there's also another way of putting it. It's tiresome and boring. You get the occasional good thing. Now, if you went back to the 90s or the 80s, you could see like, oh, there's tons of great stuff out there. Multiple movies per month are coming out that are absolute bangers. That doesn't happen anymore. Even with the independent films. Why is that? I mean, even with so because I bring up the independent films, it's like, well, they shouldn't have giant studios like just trying to micromanage all their stuff. But a lot of people have just lost their imagination. I think that's what it truly comes down to. People don't read books anymore. People aren't inspired by anything anymore other than the newer stuff that has marketability. But yes, marketability. That kind of seems like where we're falling, like in this entire entertainment range, in this entire entertainment sphere. I don't script anything. And I have a speech impediment, so I trip over my own words all the time. And that's fine. You know, there's small little editing cuts that I do in all the videos. But I know the material. I know what I want to talk about. I know how I feel about it. And I just let it rip. It feels like a lot of these people in Hollywood nowadays, they don't know how to let anything rip. They have to feel safe and secluded in their little fucking bubble. And that's why we don't get anything good. That's why everything is a rehash of something that was actually successful. Dude, as someone, as a kid, one of the first little, like, how would you call it? Fan films we ever made. Lost World Jurassic Park. We had a bunch of toys. It was a 20-minute film. No, we didn't know how to edit. We didn't have computers back then. Had a Gateway 2000. That was Windows 95, like right when it came out. We didn't know how to edit. But it was a 20-minute film of a story that we had halfway written out, and we're just filming there out in the backwoods. And then we had some kids, some neighborhood kids come at one point who had found like a sack of frog eggs. And we're just like, you want to hold my jigglers? Yes, this is not a sexual innuendo. This is something that actually happened because he had just like an entire thing of frog eggs that he had put in a little Walmart bag. And they just interrupted everything. And we're just like, this is hilarious. But that was the imagination of everything. We used to play outside. We used to drink water out of the hose. And the people who did that and played in the dirt and like just went tromping around in the woods with maybe a machete, maybe just a pocket knife, you go get some, your shins get cut up by some thorns or some, anything. You step on a snake's head. Those people don't get sick. They have really good immune systems and they have great imaginations because the parents were just like, they were working full-time jobs and we went to school all the time. So when we were off school, they're just like, we just got home at the same time. It's like, y'all go play outside, go make friends, go be social, go do something with yourself. You're not sitting inside and watching TV all the time. We got to watch TV in the evenings, which was fun as well, because then it was a family event. My dad would order some pizza. We'd watch like Alias on ABC way back then when Jennifer Garner still had a lockjaw, but way back then, that's how Bradley Cooper was discovered. He wasn't, his name wasn't Vaughn. I can't remember what his name was, but he was in that show. And we watched Family Matters and we watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air before, Will Smith was probably getting it up the ass at that point too, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, Sergeant. I'm sorry. I saw that come in a while back. It's only been 3 minutes, but like Hollywood is fucked. I don't think there's any saving it. But what are we going to go to? Are we going to go to AI? That's like one of those things where it's like, okay, I see a deficiency here in the imagination of actual human beings who can create and who have created the AI and the capabilities for AI. Oh, I see a deficiency there. Let's create something that will take over that deficiency and become the efficient thing. I don't like that. I think for myself. Nobody else thinks for me. But yeah, Hollywood's bought and sold for, bought and paid for. It's irritating. It's irritating to me, at least. I just want good shit again. I think I was born in the wrong era, but maybe I'm born in the right era because I'm talking shit about all of this right now. So maybe they will be spurred up the ass to change. Well, there is something we can talk about. And I said that this is not going to be a long little live stream. I'm just testing some stuff out, but I see that it's working because I got a friend in chat right there. So let's go into the Jaws. I believe today is specifically the day for the 50th anniversary. Now, this article has been out for a day and a half, I believe. And a lot of people are doing watch parties and all kinds of stuff. I saw a popcorn bucket from, what's his face? It wasn't X-Wing, but like Drunk 3PO sent it to him. And that popcorn bucket looked freaking cool as shit. Now, I'm not really big into those, but like it still looked really cool. I'm big into Legos. So let's go straight into the next little thing. And this is literally the last topic, unless y'all just want to like talk shit here. How Steven Spielberg's Jaws endured a hellish production to become Hollywood's first summer blockbuster, which is crazy that this was the first summer blockbuster all the way back in 1975. The shark's not working. That's all they heard the entire time through throughout all of production. For weeks, the cast and crew of Jaws kept hearing the same 4 words over their walkie-talkies while shooting the film's climatic ocean battle. Now, that familiar message terrified Steven, who was only 27 years old at the time. So he's literally 10 years younger than me at the time that he was filming Jaws. One of the biggest films, at least as far as Hollywood goes, one of the biggest things that came out and has stayed relevant throughout all of this. You see this on the back, or you used to see it on the back of DVDs and Blu-ray covers all the time. This movie does what Jaws did for the water. They always reference Jaws because it was that impactful. If one of the 3 productions, animatronic great whites, broke down, it could mean another wasted day. They only had 3, and at the time, not adjusting for inflation, at the time, they were expensive as shit. He was a young director. He only had 1 film underneath his belt. If I'm not mistaken, that was Close Encounters of the Third Kind. However, I don't have IMDb pulled up right now, but I'm pretty sure Close Encounters was the only other one that he had done, because E.T. didn't come out until the 80s. All the setbacks put the film more than 100 days behind schedule and doubled its budget to $8 million. Now, $8 million in 1975 is way more than what y'all think it is nowadays. We didn't know how they were ever going to finish this movie. Remember Jeffrey Kramer, one of the guys who was working and was an actor on the scene? There were rumors all around the set that the studio was going to shut us down, and Spielberg, who had been entrusted with turning the best-selling novel by Peter Benchley about a rampaging shark into a cinematic event, feared that he would be fired because, oh my gosh, Kathleen Kennedy, you used to fire people who couldn't do their job. So why does Ryan Johnson still have a gleam on the top of that egghead? His nails were bitten to the stubs because he actually cared about the work. Now, he doesn't care about his work anymore, at least not anything that I can see. The last thing that he cared about was basically a biopic or a biopic, however y'all pronounce that, about himself. But that was the only manifestation of his nerves. Steven knew he needed to lead by example. That meant concentrating on his job and keeping his cool, even when everything around him was going to hell. Now, this is the sign of someone who has fucking passion. Someone who has fucking passion actually will stay the course. After all, they're the ones in charge. Why were they put in charge? And why did they lobby to be in charge if they didn't have passion with it? So yes, when the ship starts to fail, the captain either goes down with the ship or they right the course. And that's exactly what Steven Spielberg did when it came to this film. He righted the course amid all the crap that was thrown his way. I got mad respect for that. I don't have respect for him anymore, but I have mad respect for a young, passionate filmmaker before the industry takes them. And maybe that's why these two articles actually made sense to me to do it at the same time, is because both of them have to do with passion and the industry absolutely sucking all of that passion out of true storytellers. And everything that Could Go to Hell did, filming just off Martha's Vineyard, had been Spielberg's idea because he wanted the location. He thought making it on the open water, he thought it would be authentic, and it ended up being a lot of problems. But what do people do when problems are presented with them? They adapt. At this point in time, and this is yet another reason why Jaws is so beloved, is that Steven Spielberg was inspired and he adapted to all the bull crap that was thrown at him during shooting. Was he naive in a whole lot of stuff? Yes, he was naive. But he did adapt because he wanted to get his vision out there. That's what we need more of in Hollywood, is people who have visions and will stop at nothing to make that vision come true and share it with the customers and the audience, the ticket buyers. Jaws should have never been made. Spielberg admitted himself to time the Monday after the film opened in 1975. It was an impossible effort. Well, it wasn't impossible because you actually did it. But I understand, not only from my own videos, but like a lot of things that we've done in our lives, I understand, like, yeah, it seems impossible. You're not really proud of it, but then you do the rewatch. And now every YouTuber out there, whoever watches this in the future, it could feel really terrible at the time, but as long as you're confident in yourself, always do the rewatch. Do the rewatch so you can learn, you can take notes, and you can build upon yourself. I did this with the GCA for like since the start. No, none of the other guys did, and that's totally fine. By the way, that's their choice. None of the people did. I was like, as soon as we were done, I was like, I gotta go do the rewatch, guys. Meeting's over. All right, cool. I'm going to go make notes so we can be better in the future. I do that with all my videos, not only to give myself a like, but just to see like, oh, how did I fuck up? Where was my cadence off with this? 50 years later, I know that was a tangent. 50 years later, we're still living in the entertainment landscape. The Jaws reshaped its outsized success, made studios realize that if they packaged and promoted movies correctly, they wouldn't just be hits. They could become phenomena, selling t-shirts, toys, along with tickets. That's not really doing that much anymore because there's not a whole lot of merch, especially as far as toys go. There's not a whole lot more going on. For toys, you're basically looking for, people look for Funko Pops for some fucking reason. I think that's dumb as shit, but some people really like those. And basically what we're looking for, do y'all remember like the collector's edition, like a director's edition DVD sets or Blu-ray sets that came with a collector's edition statue? Now, that's what a lot of comic book creators are doing nowadays, and those are highly regarded. Obviously, McFarlane Toys are doing that because that's what Eric July uses. And then McFarlane Toys, yeah, they're doing great with that, but that's what people want. They want a movie that they love, and they want the steel case, and they want the director's cut, and they want like a statue of their favorite characters. Nobody nowadays has a favorite character because it's all just like, oh yeah, I watched this 25, 30 years ago. You made a new one and it sucks. Even with all the upgrades in technology, it's worse than the one that I watched when I was a fucking kid, and I watched every year, multiple times a year. I want that one. I want the one from way back when. I don't want a new version of it. I'm going to end this snippet about this article right here, but I am still with you. Oh my goodness. Anybody who is actually like, I don't know, is anybody having watch parties? I haven't seen anything on Discord or anything like that about people having 50th anniversary Jaws watch parties. I think that would be cool as shit. I'd be down. And then we all just drown ourselves in salt water at the end. Okay, that's a joke, but yeah, don't take that seriously. I think it'd be cool. I think we should do that more. And I think we should probably promote it more, not only on social media, but just, I mean, they have been doing this, taking old movies and putting them back in theaters. And then those old movies are making more in like 3 days in the theater than the new movies that are coming out. It's absolutely glorious. I fucking love it. But yeah, I think we should do that more. We should show Hollywood, this is the quality that we expect. This is what we want. This is what we'll pay for. And this is what will keep your business alive. They're not going to listen, but it's always fun to have a party with friends and watch something you like and can enjoy. Make memories out of it. I don't see anything wrong with that either. Make your memories. Cheers. I don't really have much more that I was going to say. At least not for tonight, because this is basically a test stream. I don't even know if it was going to work, because when we started doing this with the GCA, we set up the stream and did everything, and it was just like, oh, you have to wait 24 hours. Apparently, that's not the rule anymore. Because I could just do it straight up, but... Oh, what should we do? Should we do anything? I don't know. I guess my I guess a lot of my fervor gets taken out from throwing it all into videos, and by the end I'm just like, I just want to pet the dog and smoke a cigarette and go talk to Miss Malty. And why the hell has she not brought me dinner? I know I did a spicy challenge earlier. By the way, it was spicy, but it wasn't really that hot. It was enough to make my eyes leak, but anyway, there was one thing. Let me see if I can pull it up right now. I'm not going to talk about 28 years later, because I haven't seen it. Let's see if I can find this article. There was something else that I wanted to roast. Oh, it's not roasting. Actually, it's not roasting. So I did a video on Ryan Gosling being cast as the new Highlander, and I thought it was just a rumor at the time. It may have been a rumor at the time, but it has since become true, and we have another true thing that's coming out. So Ryan Gosling playing Christopher Lambert's part, and then Sean Connery's part is now apparently going to be taken by Russell Crowe. Oh, no, not Ryan Gosling. Oh my gosh, I'm a stupid fucking idiot. Henry Cavill. Why did I think Ryan Gosling? Oh, probably because of the fucking Star Wars thing. Because he's doing like an R-rated Star Wars with some chick that just won an Oscar for being naked half the time. So Russell Crowe joins Henry Cavill in Highlander, and he will instruct Henry Cavill in the ways of the immortals in the remake of Highlander. Has it actually gone on to say that it's going to be a basically shot-for-shot remake, or is it just going to be in that sphere? The Oscar winner is set to play Cavill's mentor in a variation on the part played by Sean Connery in the 1986 original film. Chad Stahelski, who has done the John Wick films, I think they should have ended after 3. But anyway, we'll oversee the remake, which has a script by Michael Finch, who did 4. And if I'm not mistaken, that was like the one that was the least well received. Highlander is being backed by Amazon, MGM Studios, and United Arts. And that's a red flag right there, because Amazon has done nothing but fuck everything up. Every single property that they have touched in the last 5 years, they have fucked up, to my knowledge. Leave it down, or leave it over there in the chat if there's something that I am missing with this, because it's all fucking sucked. Crow is one of the biggest stars of the late night. Yeah, we can all talk about Master and Commander and Gladiator and A Beautiful Mind. Now, that's a good movie, but it has nothing to do with all of his action roles, which is what he's going to be playing here, is a mentor in an action role. And also, The Nice Guys. Excuse you? Why is that not on this list? Crow is next slated to play Hermann Göring, one of Hitler's most trusted allies in James Vanderbilt's Nuremberg, why the fuck is that in there? They just want me to say Hitler. Well, I can throw my heart out to you. This is a pretty shitty article, actually. This is a very shitty article. So there's just an announcement. This will not come out on my site. It's just an announcement. Oh, I had so much more to say on the Cavill stuff, but note to self: when you're live, don't you should always vet your sources in your articles before you just go live. The other two I had already read like multiple times. Highlander. Oh, yeah, I could do that now too. So Highlander, will you reunite Cavill with Crow? Yes. Yes, and this is announced, so it's actually going to happen. Now, while we're on this topic, let's see if they have a release date. Like, have they announced that? Because now they're announcing other people. Okay, not off the top. Negative. They still don't have a release date. If I'm all right, I'm gonna have to cough. Excuse me, guys. I'm gonna mute myself real quick. If I'm not mistaken, when I did this video, they didn't even have a script yet. They just had Cavill signed on, and I was like, "This is a great casting because he could be the one." Because there is only one. I don't even think they have a full script. But most of the time in Hollywood, you do not cast people until you have a script because they have to read the script. They have to know what they're signing on to. Rachel Brosnahan, stupid bitch, who's playing Lois Lane in the gun Superman. When I complain about it, you took the money. Such short-sighted. Anyway, we're not going to go off into that either. There's videos about it. I've already done them. Yeah, there's nothing going on with that. But so they haven't announced a script writer. They have announced a director, and they've announced the two stars, like the two stars that actually matter. So they must have a script. So, well, doesn't that one say? Yeah, it does. Mm-hmm. But they don't have a release date. I'm going to assume, because obviously I haven't started filming yet. If they start filming in like 3 months, I'm going to assume this is either going to be a Christmas release of next year, or they'll probably wait till March of 2027. That's my prediction. So it's going to take a while to do everything. While we're here, fuck it. This is free advertisement. If y'all are into comic books in any way whatsoever, have you checked out the Rippaverse? No, they don't pay me for anything. It's not that. It's because the reason why I'm bringing this up because I love the Rippaverse comics. It's what got me into comics because I was watching him for a long time. Back when he did politics stuff, he did music, and then he started coming out with comic books. I did not buy the first ISOM until later, but I was paying attention to it, and I was like, oh, yeah. And then he was friends with people in Geeks and Gamers, and so I just started paying attention. And I just started... I never read comic books other than the free ones that came out whenever you went to the theater and went and saw like Bryan Singer's X-Men and X-Men 2, X-Men United, one of the best ones out there. Yeah, they have little comic books and stuff like that they give to you. So those are the only comics that I ever read. And I was like, I'll just do something just to show the support. And then I read it and I was like, oh, damn. This could be good, and you just started. Yaira's, obviously, my number one. If you know anything about my channel, Yaira is my favorite character. 3 is about to come out. I don't think you can get into the pre. Well, actually, you can't get into pre-order anymore because now they're fulfilling shipments. As soon as the pre-order stopped, as soon as that was cut off, they are shipping them out because they don't drag ass on fulfilling everything that you buy. I have been a customer of them for a long time, and normally first day, they never disappointed me in anything whatsoever. I don't have to like the comic. There has been one infamous one that I was excited for, and I was like, yeah, that was pretty much shit. But all the other ones I have extremely enjoyed, and you can meet them in person for free. They will sign your shit for free. You could buy it there, and then you don't have to pay shipping if you ever go to a Comic-Con or a fan meetup or anything like that. If you like comics at all or want to get into comics, I think the Rippaverse is really a great way of just like, dipping your toe in the water because they got something for everything. You like horror and blood? Go for a Saska Sister one. If you like just straight up superheroes, go for a Chuck Dixon one. And if you like a little bit of nuance with what the characters are going for, especially including music and everything, because Norfolka is live right now, go for one that's written by Eric July. There are other writers that are doing stuff in there. Like, this thing is getting really big, but it's got something for everyone, and you can vet everything through not only YouTube, but Eric himself. They have a huge presence on social media, but if you're not interested in comics, you don't have to do anything. I am not paid sponsor. And I still have that up because I'm terrible at this, Sergeant. I haven't live streamed. I haven't hosted a live stream in so long. Oh my gosh, it's going crazy. But we might end it somewhere on here. I don't really have much more to say other than like I saw the tweet from Trump like 6 minutes after he posted it on social media. I don't really want to talk politics. So I don't have the time of day for it, but apparently we bombed. That's what everyone's saying. We? That's not what we voted for. Apparently America bombed Iran because they were talking about their nuclear arsenal or something like that, or they got access to more nuclear shit. And I was like, oh golly, how about why can't we just stay out of this? Now I could see arguments from both sides, and yes, I keep my little ostrich head underneath the sand because I don't want to get involved in any more crap. My job, my life is stressful enough between normal work and having a committed relationship, and then just life. Just life, paying bills, trying to save, trying to do other things, living far away from my family. Life is stressful enough. Do I really need to worry about like that? I'm not going to get drafted. I have no worries about that. I'm too old, and I got injuries from past car wrecks. I wouldn't pass. Oh, excuse me. I wouldn't pass a physical exam. I probably wouldn't pass a mental exam because I would just roast the fuck out of whoever's asking me any questions. But why the hell do we have to get involved? It's not like, we can't eradicate nuclear weapons from the planet. We can't do it because there's already people out there who can replenish whatever we deactivate or destroy. But should we really just go drop payloads on folks because they're trying to do it, and we know that we majorly disagree with what that country represents. I don't know. Yeah, I'm asking questions that I need somebody on the panel here so we can like bounce things off. I need Hayden Wayne here. Now, if I had asked him, he probably would have come on, but yeah, I need somebody to bounce these questions off. Someone who pays attention to politics more than I do. I just look at my tax rate and then get pissed off. Well, I think we're going to call it here. I don't really have any. Yeah. I'm just fucking around. Obviously did some videos, so like I'm just going to cut those out and make them into videos. Thank you. Anybody who popped in the stream, I highly appreciate you. Highly, 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 highly. You got to see Ultimate Uwu with y'all call her a plank ass. Y'all call Tay a little plank ass. I would. Well, of course I would. Y'all got to see Ultimate Uwu. You got to see like kind of how I film videos. I don't do very much editing. I'm prepared for the most part, except for that last one that I just did off the cuff, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this article is shit." But I'm prepared for the most part, and I just go in. If that's your style, I can advise that, like, hey, just go do it. You're gonna suck at first because you're not gonna be comfortable with light in your face and this thing in your face. You're not gonna be comfortable at first. And then knowing that it's going out to the entire world. But just do it. You will get comfortable at some point. And you'll be happy wearing a fucking Blabs the Tower Tard bucket hat on stream because you're comfortable with yourself. You're comfortable in your opinions. And your content will get better. That's all you have to do. Put yourself out there and be authentic. If goofing around and like wearing stupid ass shit is not if that's not the way that you roll, don't do it. Don't do it just for the grift. There is no grift. I don't get paid. And I'm not worried about that. I do this for fun and for the passion. And you should too. Everything should always, as soon as you lose the passion, you should quit. But if you actually have something to say, go do it for yourself, man. Or woman. There is no in between. There's only two genders. But I'm going to leave it here. This is Malty. Mouth of Malty. Apparently Maltyverse. I will suck you in. Probably shouldn't have said that. Y'all have a great day. Take care. We'll see you. Bye.